It's morphin' time, or is it time to teach those pesky teenagers a lesson? Let's find out in Power Rangers, the deck building game. Thank you for joining me today at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp. Power Rangers, the deck building game, is a competitive deck building game for 2 to 4 players. It's being published by Renegade Game Studios. They sent us this prototype to look at. It's actually being launched on CrowdOx and not Kickstarter. I'll explain a little bit more about that at the end of the video. At the beginning of the game, players choose a character to play, either a villain or hero, starting on the teenage or scheming side. For a given game, you can have the players do 1 versus 1 in a 2-player game, which would be 1 villain versus 1 hero, or 4 players would be 2 villains versus 2 heroes, or if you have 3 players, you can choose to do 1 villain versus 2 heroes, or the other way around, 2 villains versus 1 hero. Players get a deck of start cards and some items depending on who you choose. There will be initial cards out in the grid and other cards laid out. Now, turns don't go clockwise. It's best to have opposing teams on either side of the table. Each player gets a turn marker, so it basically goes villain, hero, so you can keep track of that with these turn markers. The point of the game is for one team to reduce the other team to get their hit points to 0. Your turn is divided into 3 phases: start phase, main phase, and end phase. During the start phase, you'll refill the grid, ready your cards and things like that. During your main phase, you'll be playing cards to generate shards and energy. If you have a teammate, they can adjust these numbers for you for smoother gameplay. You'll be able to buy cards by paying the cost. These go into your discard pile. You can attach cards from your hand to your character if the colors match. These cards that are attached to your character may have an ability that you can activate. Understanding these concepts will really help you play the game better. Playing cards from your hand will gain you the shards or energy that's listed. Activating these abilities is only accomplished if the card is attached to your character, and then you'll exhaust the card, so only be used once per turn. You can also battle cards that are in the grid, like battling villains if you are a hero or vice versa. The cards show the number of shards needed to win. There will be text on the card for any benefits once they're defeated. Battling these cards are important because during your end phase, you're going to be getting damage for every adversary card that's in the grid, and these damages cannot be blocked. Then you'll discard any cards you didn't play and draw back up to 5 cards. Every character has a signature item that they can purchase with the shards. These are a wild color and can go in any slot. Once all 4 sides are filled, you flip over your character card and it never flips back. Both sides of the card have abilities that can be triggered certain ways. Also, when you flip to your Ranger after you have all 4 sides filled, you gain your personal Zord. Only heroes gain Zords. Once you gain your Zord, or you can purchase it, you can purchase additional Zords. You attach these Zords to the Zord Bay. 1 Zord can be activated on a hero's turn. The heroes can try and build the Mega Zord or Mega Dragon Zord by attaching enough Zords. Villains can buy powerful master cards. Each villain has a personal master that they can purchase and attach to their character. Most of them have ongoing start of turn abilities. Attaching to the lair immediately triggers an attack on the heroes. There are other types of cards too, like locations that have ongoing abilities and stay in play and are activated at certain times or certain ways. The game's over when another team reduces the hit points of the opposing team to 0. There is another endgame trigger, and that is if a person is refilling the grid with cards, but there's no cards left in the main deck. That person will finish out their turn, and then whatever team has the highest hit points would win the game in that case. Since this is a deck builder, you'll be gaining new and different cards into your deck that will make you more powerful. This has some classic deck building with some twists like attaching cards to your character and then upgrading your character. Also, the getting damage for not taking care of certain cards in the middle gives you tough choices on how you're going to spend your shards. The team play is another important aspect to the game. Many deck building games are purely competitive, every person for themselves. Or there's games that are one person versus many. But this one, you are working together as a team versus the other team, and you're either going to win or lose. And the other interesting thing is you get to choose what side you want to be on at the beginning of the game. And the game is replayable with all the different heroes and villains you can choose from. The art, of course, fits the Power Rangers theme well, and the graphic design is easy to understand with shards and energy. If you enjoy the Power Rangers theme, you like deck building games, then check out Power Rangers deck building game from Renegade Games. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Renegade is launching this on CrowdOx's website and not on Kickstarter. So on November 10th, Renegade is launching this on CrowdOx. Check it out. Power Rangers deck building game from Renegade Game Studios. And as always, we'd love for you to like this video and subscribe to Tantrum House.